You guys are getting more and more amazing at this game to a point where you are putting me to shame, because in today's video we're gonna have another free-to-play Lydia, but this time in less than 12 months. So we're gonna go over all those teams and also just how fast this player was able to accomplish that. Let's jump right in. If you guys are new to these types of showcases, then you need to understand that I'm going to need to go over 13 factions for you to have a complete picture of what was used. I also have a Word document at the end that I will show that lists all the gear that he used on each of these champions, also which star or ranking they had while he completed this. I unfortunately do not have a screenshot of all the factions, but we will be going back and forth between the ones we do have and also the champion inventory. So Bannerlords is the first on the list. He got it done with the team you see right here. Stage 21 in about 23 minutes and 25 seconds. Here's the gear of these champions. So for Dagger, we have Regen and Resilience. We have all the skills done and then some masteries, but not all. As for Oathbound, Regen and Perception, probably moved some pieces around. No skills, a couple skills done, sorry, and then the masteries are not all done. As for Archmage Helmet, the masteries are not all done. The skills are all done. And then for the artifacts, we have Perception and Accuracy. Then we have Seneschal or Senecal, whatever. This guy in Perception and Immortal. No skills done. Masteries, barely any done. And then for Warcaster, we have barely any masteries. He's still level 50. The skills are not done. And then he's wearing Regen again and Perception gear. Interesting. As for High Elves, unfortunately, I do not have a screenshot, so we're going to go with just the gear itself. We're starting with, obviously, Arbiter, 6 pieces of speed. We have all the skills, almost all the skills done. I believe the one is missing one more. And then we have Timely Intervention for the tier 6. As for Apothecary, all the masteries are done. We see Giant Slayer probably was used or still is used in the clan boss. All the skills are done. Then we have Relentless and Speed. Okay, very interesting. As for Vergus here, 5-star, we have this guy in Resilience and Immortal. Are the skills done? Maybe a couple here and there, yes. No masteries whatsoever. This is kind of nice. And then we have Elhain, which has a couple masteries, all the skills done. Probably started with this champion, and we have, okay, Relentless here as well. Was this the actual gear used? Yes, this was it. And we have a Pixniel, 5-star, not ascended, in Perception and Resilience. No skills done, I hope. No skills done. And then for the masteries, literally nothing. Sacred Order is the next one on the list. We have a Hope, Mistress of Hymns, Armiger, Phenax, and Astralon in about 15 minutes. As for the gear on these champions, we've got Astralon with some masteries done. We have some skills done, pretty much all of them actually. Then we have Accuracy, Cruel, and Perception. This seems to be what he used on this champion to actually get it done. Then we have Armiger here, which is in Destroy and Perception. Probably for the Scarab King, for the Doom Tower, which is now not there anymore. So to all of you guys who built a dedicated team for the Scarab King, I feel your pain. Masteries are not completely done. As for Phenax, let me guess, probably similar here. We have barely any masteries done, no skills done, and we have this guy, okay, so in lifesteal and missing some pieces, so I would assume he moved them around, but he did have a 4-piece lifesteal and then 2-piece Perception. We have Mistress of Him, no, this is Hope in Shield and Immortal. Okay, we have no skills done, and then for the masteries, literally nothing done on that champion. Then we have Mistress of Hymns, which was geared in 5-star, sorry, not 5-star, but Regen gear and Life gear, so probably moved quite a lot of pieces around. We have barely any skills done and barely any masteries done. The next one is the Barbarians Crypt with Haikatoon, Sway Firstborn, War Maiden, Bareth, the Blood-Soaked, and our trusty Sile of the Drake. So let's go over their gear here real quick. We have a Relentless Sile of the Drakes with 2-piece Perception. As for the skills, they are all done. And then for the masteries, we do have Fearsome Presence for the tier 6. As for Sway Firstborn here, we have her in two pieces of speed, so 4 speed and 1 accuracy. Masteries are barely done. All the skills are done. This is actually a good champion for apparently the clan boss. If I'm not mistaken, some players are using her there, right? We have the weaken, we have decreased defense, and we have increased attack and increased crit damage. So you know what? I take it back. Not too long ago, I said she wasn't exactly that great, but there you have it. So that's a Sway Firstborn. Then we have the next one is High Katoon in accuracy, speed, and perception. As for the skills, they are not done. Masteries, barely any done. Then we have War Maiden with barely any masteries done as well. Are the skills done? They are. For her gear, we have what seems to be basically accuracy, right? So I would think accuracy and speed. Yep. And then for Bareth the Blood-Soaked, he was in 4 pieces of shield and then some crit damage pieces, as we see right there. As for the skills, they're not done. And then the masteries, nothing done again. Ogryn Tribes, the next one. I also do not have a screenshot of this one, but we can look at the roster right down here. So we have a not one but 2 Bellower in here, both in speed and stun gears. As for the masteries, they are not all done. The skills are all done on this one. It does look like he's still using his gear. The second one here also still seems to be using all his gear, and all the skills are done as well on the second one. Okay, masteries also a little bit done. Then we have our trusty Grush the Mangler, a great champ. He's actually still in my Faction Wars team right now in a stun set. He has 2 AoEs. That's kind of really good. So we have masteries here, not all done, sorry. And then for the skills, they are all done. For his gear, we have perception, speed, and a divine speed. Then we have a Shamrock in perception and immortal, as we see right there. No skills done. For the masteries, nothing done again. Then we have Dracul, probably a fusion champion he managed to complete. No skills done, no masteries, and we had basically resilience and immortal for his gear. Lizardmen is the next one, which I also do not have a screenshot for you guys, but that's all right. We can go over the gear right here. So we have Rosin in lifesteal and perception. All the skills are pretty much done. As for the masteries, we have Giant Slayer for the tier 6. Then we have a trusty Skull Lord Vorgal, so I would assume he managed to complete that fusion. Barely any masteries done. No skills done. As for the artifacts, we have Shield and Immortal. Haruspex, one of the only or very few revivers, if not the only, maybe, for the Lizardmen faction in Immortal, and then 2 random pieces at level 50. Barely any skills done. Masteries, nothing done whatsoever. We have the Skull Sworn, which works very well with the Skull Lord. Masteries, nothing done. And then we have no skills in a Frost set. I use the exact same thing on my own account still. Then we have a trusty Vergumkar for the last one here in perception, and 2 random pieces, I guess. Level 50, not even fully ascended, no skills done, and no masteries done yet again. Skinwalkers is one that I do have a screenshot for you guys. So we have 2 Steel Skull ranked up to 60, 1 level 50 Gnarlhorn, and then 1 level 60-ish, and then a Taurus. Let's go over the gear of these champions, starting with Steel Skull number 1, Lifesteal and Accuracy. The skills are all done. Masteries, War Master for the tier 6, most likely for the clan boss. The second one, barely any masteries done. Okay, skills are also done on this one, almost all of them. And then we have Resilience, Perception, and Resistance gear. Pretty impressive. We have Regeneration here on Gnarlhorn number 1 with Divine Speed. No skills done. Okay, a couple skills done until he got the cooldowns. And then we have no masteries or barely any. Taurus here, no masteries. We've got barely any skills done. And then for the gear, he had, at the time of doing this, Perception, Speed, and Frostbite. Okay, and I would assume that's similar to this one right here. So, okay, so he probably moved some gear around. Same concept on the second Gnarlhorn, the one that's level 50. And we have a couple skills done, yet again, going for the cooldown reduction, and no masteries either. We have no screenshot for the Orcs, but we at least have the gear or the description of it. So let's go over those champions. We have a Warlord on this account. That's absolutely amazing with Eagle Eye for the tier 6. All the skills are done. Absolutely, I would do that as well. In full perception gear, I would assume he's also being used in the arena right now, which is why you see him like this. Really impressive champion. Then we have a Krila in relentless and speed. As for the skills, a couple are done. Masteries, War Master for the tier 6, therefore I would assume maybe for the clan boss in there at some point. We have Zorgala in perception and speed. All her masteries are done. All the skills are done. She's definitely worth it. Very book hungry, but she's worth it. She really is. Then we have a Robar here, which has Cruel, Accuracy, and Immortal, level 50. no skills done. Masteries, nothing done. Vrask, no masteries. Skills, nothing. And we have Relentless and Immortal for the gear. So again, a lot of Relentless, Immortal, and Regeneration gear I'm seeing. We have no screenshot for the Demonspawn, so let's go over the gear straight away. We have a Drexstar in full perception, 510 accuracy, that's pretty impressive. We have a couple skills done, okay, the passive as well, and then we have Eagle Eye for the tier 6. As for Allure number 1, we have Giant Slayer for the tier 6, no skills done. Artifacts, we have a Lifesteal and Perception, that does seem to be what he used, yes. Then we have a Tanix Hate Flower here, which was geared with this exact gear right here. All right, so Perception, Resilience, and Speed. Any skills done? No skills done. And then for the masteries, barely any done. Next one is Allure number 2, which does have no masteries, no skills, and the gear you see right here. So we do have Resilience and Perception and Speed yet again. And finally, we have an Achok the Windarin, which had, what is it? Perception, Immortal, and Resilience as well. A lot of crafted gear. I'm seeing just how much the Forge is now having an impact on players' progression, right? As for the skills, we do have a couple done. Quite a bit, actually. Almost all of them. And then no masteries. Only 4 more to go, guys. We've got the Undead Horde, which we do have this screenshot right here. So 15 minutes and 42 seconds. Doesn't seem to be his first attempt, but he got 3-star with the team you see right there. So let's go over the gear of these champions, starting with a Rotos in Speed and Savage. Are the skills all done? Almost all of them. We have Help Smasher for the tier 6. Then we have a Seeker with War Master for the tier 6. The skills are pretty much all done. And then for the artifacts, we have Perception and Defense. Next one is Frozen Banshee, Lifesteal, Divine Speed. The skills are all done. And for the masteries, we have War Master. Gorgrab is up next with barely any masteries. All the skills are done. And for the gear, we have Speed and 2 random pieces, and a reasonable amount of total speed. And then finally, we have a trusty Elagaius, another fusion champion. I keep saying it, you want to get those fusion champions, they will help you for all the faction wars. This guy is in Immortal and Accuracy, no skills done, and no masteries. 3 more to go with Dark Elves, which we don't have a screenshot for, but that's all right. We can go over the gear. We have Accuracy, Perception, and 2 Divine Pieces for a Madame Ceres. All the skills are done. Masteries, we have Eagle Eye for the tier 6. Next one is Caden with War Master for the tier 6. The skills are all done. And the artifacts, we have 2 pieces of crit damage, 2 pieces of Perception, and 2 pieces of Immortal. The next one on the list is, he's saying a Kale here. Okay, so a Kale in a Lifesteal and a Speed, which has that exact gear. And then for the skills, they are all done. And then finally, we have for the masteries, War Master as the tier 6. And then not 1, but 2 Cold Hard with Flawless Execution for the tier 6 on the first one. All the skills are done. And then for the gear, we have Relentless. Okay, Relentless in Speed. Interesting, I like it. And for the second one, Relentless and Speed as well. As for the skills, they are all done. And for the masteries, Flawless Execution again. 2 more to go. The next one, Knight Revenant. There's no screenshot. We have a Sepulchre Sentinel, fully maxed out, I would assume, in Lifesteal. All the skills are done. I would do the same thing, to be honest, with War Master for the tier 6. So I would assume perhaps in the clan boss. Then we got a Miscreated Monster with Helm Smasher. All the skills are done. Same thing. Fantastic champion. I would do the same thing in Immortal and then 2 random pieces. The next one is the Doom Priest in Relentless. She's really good. We see a whole lot of her now in the Doom Tower. The skills are not done. Masteries, we do have War Master. Then we have a Faceless. Barely any masteries. As for the skills, we have a couple that are done, especially the Ice Bolt. And for the artifacts, we have a couple random pieces, it seems, which I would assume is probably what he used before. Yes. Then we have a Rector Drath as the last one in Speed, Resilience, and Perception. Another great champion. All the skills are done on this one. And then for the masteries, nothing done. And that's it for that team. And finally, the last one, the Dwarves, with the team you see right here in 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Let's go over the gear of these champions. We have a Savage set Gala Longbraid with 2 pieces of Divine. The skills, a couple are done, almost all of them. We have Helm Smasher for the tier 6, and not 1, but 2 Rearguard Sergeant. I use the same strategy on my account. We have not all the masteries done here. As for the skills, they are also not all done. We have Perception and Immortal on the first one. We have Resilience and Perception, I would assume, on the second one. Yes, and then for the skills, they are not all done, at least a couple, until this here was reduced, the cooldown, right? And then for the masteries, we have War Master on that one. Grizzled Jarl, a couple masteries, not all of them. We have a couple skills done, cooldown reduction here, and then not the A3. As for the gear, we have Perception, Crit Rate, and Speed by the looks of it. And finally, we have a Rock Breaker for the last one at level 50. We have full Perception, yep, regen and Perception. I would assume he probably switched some things around by now. As for the skills, they are not all done except the passive, and then masteries, nothing done. Guys, so there you have it, a breakdown of all the teams or champions he used to get it done. Now let's go over the rest of the account, which we're gonna do very quickly because this is dragging on. All right, so we got the Ice Golem in 3 minutes with the team you see right here. Then we're going to do the Spider, which we see 44 seconds with the team you see right there. Then we've got the Dragon with 1 minute and 42 seconds with this team. And finally, for the Fire Knight, we've got this time right here, 2 minutes and 20 seconds with this team right there. As for the rest of the account, the campaign, Brutal and Nightmare is done. Faction Wars, obviously it's all done. For his arena team, let's quickly just pick a battle. This is probably the one he's fighting with the most. As for his defense, currently running a single Arbiter to keep himself low. He is in Silver 4 for Tag Arena with a one-man team across the board for the beginning of the week, I would assume. But then if we pick a fight, you will see he's using these champions right there. Let's keep going. The next one, or next thing, sorry, would be the clan boss. I think he's at a Nightmare 2 key right here. Bigkino right there. So he doesn't have a counterattack champion, but he's still doing pretty good. As for the Doom Tower, it just reset. He's on the hard. Okay, so he's progressing, and a little bit on normal as well. I would assume he can probably at least finish normal, if not a good portion of hard as well. The Great Hall, real quick, this is it. So now let's go straight to the proof of this account. First, let's confirm it's the right account. We have it right here. So this is the confirmation from Plarium that he is free to play with the player ID number you see right there. The numbers do match up. And finally, for the total time that it took him to complete this free to play Lydia, it was 290 days. Right, so he went over 270, and then he did about 20 days here before I got to cover the account. So 290 days for a free-to-play Lydia. This is the latest record, guys, and let me finish with the quick rundown of each of these sets. So I will zoom in on this, and then maybe you guys, if you want, you can pause wherever you want this to be. Okay, so Bannerlords, High Elves, Sacred Order, Barbarians, Ogryn Tribes, Lizardmen and Skinwalkers, and finally we have Dwarves, Night Rev, Dark Elves, and we've got Orcs, Demonspawn, and Undead Horde. There you have it, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.